Hello guys, my name is Eli, I'm a writer for Nintendo Enthusiast. Today I'm back for another episode of The Pitch. The reason that this episode's a little late this week is first of all we had Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving everyone, by the way. We had Black Friday and I bought some nice stuff for pretty cheap. And then also I was writing the Pokemon review, which is actually up now already on NintendoEnthusiast.com. Check it out, it's a really excellent game and I hope you enjoy that review. So getting into this episode of The Pitch, Granddad Gamer has another question for me. He writes, a controversial question here. Based on the saying sex sells and considering that it is well known that platforms such as VHS increase sales by using adult material, do you think if the Wii U had a sexual-based game, maybe involving 50 Shades of Grey, that it would shed its kitty image and shift more numbers? With the motion controls, touchscreen, and microphone available, the mind boggles. I'm not asking should they do it, I'm asking would it boost sales? To be honest, at first I was just going to say no flat out and not really delve into why that question is answer is no, because the premise is really interesting because VHS did see a rise due to this adult industry, but after doing more thinking and a little bit of research, I've come to the conclusion that it still will not sell more Wii U's, but I'm ready to provide some facts. So the first thing we have to ask ourselves is there a need for games that are sexual? And I think right there you can answer no, because there are tons of sexual games online that people can go and play for free or for small fees. People don't have to go buy a whole new console for it. So just looking at it from that perspective by itself, there's no need that needs to be filled, and I really don't think that releasing an adult game on the Wii U would necessarily sell Wii U's, because people can get, can go online and see adult material for free or play games for free. Why would they pay $300 for a console? I think that the reason why the VHS sales sold or took off was because internet was just not widespread, and furthermore, for those during the later years of the VHS, those that did have internet, dial-up was so slow, the adult industry just simply couldn't run on an online setting because, videos would take way too long to load. So I think that the premise of this question is very interesting. In theory, maybe it would help shed its kitty image, but I think games like Bayonetta will help shed its kitty image. I don't think that really, as in like adult nudity games are really going to do anything, or pornographic material, just because I don't think people are willing to pay money for that, to the amount of $300 for a console plus a certain amount for a game. The other things you have to think about is a game like that would automatically receive the AO rating, which is the adults only rating, and that rating would not sell in stores. GameStop, Walmart, Best Buy, they would refuse to carry this game, which is another big issue. I don't think it would sell because you simply couldn't find it on store shelves. You would need to special order it from special websites that sell AO games. I just don't think it's going to work on a Wii U hardware setting, and plus I don't think it would shed the kitty image. I think it would just be more creepy than anything, and I don't think it would sell well because there's no need that needs to be filled when people can just go online for their adult material. It's a wonderful question, and I really appreciate that, and I'm happy I was able to do a little bit of explanation on the subject. Moving on, Matt Dale16 writes, do you think Nintendo can buy back Rare? And if so, would you like to see any new games like Banjo-Kazooie and Donkey Kong 64? P.S. Enjoying the show, keep up the good work. Well, thank you. There's two questions. First of all, can Nintendo buy back Rare? The answer to that's yes. Nintendo has like $10 billion in the bank. They've been recording profits the last few quarters. They have the money to buy back Rare. Now, I think the correct question is, should Nintendo buy back Rare? And I don't think that question is yes, because Rare has lost a lot of the people that it's had from the GameCube, or from the N64 era. A lot of the people that used to work at Rare no longer work at Rare, which is quite a shame, because that's why they're pumping out Connect Sports every year, because they don't have the people that used to pump out like Banjo-Kazooie and Conquer. So I think that's the first big thing. I don't think Nintendo should buy back Rare, even though they could. However, I do think Nintendo should and can buy back a certain Rare property, or certain Rare properties. I think that buying back something like Conquer, the rights to Conquer, would be awesome. Just think about the fact it came to Xbox, after the N64, and it had online capabilities through Xbox Live. Now, we know that Nintendo's developing Splatoon. It's going to be one of the only shooters on the Wii U, especially from the first party. I think it's like the only first party shooter. Now, imagine if they bought back the rights to Conquer, and then they had the collectathon type of gameplay in the single player, but then the multiplayer was like a funky kind of shooter like Splatoon. So that would, I feel like that would function. I feel like that would do some sales. And I think in that way, maybe as a long-term investment, buying Conquer rights back would actually be a really good business decision. I don't know how many other Rare properties are going to be worth buying, and how many Microsoft properties that were just developed by Rare and Nintendo. Think about something like Viva Pinata, which I think is developed by Rare, not 100%, but is owned by Microsoft. And if they were to buy that game back, I feel like that would be a great game to have on the Wii U. Would really fit in the ecosystem, and I think that those games would do well for the Wii U audience. So, should they buy back Rare? No. Can they? Yes, but I think it's much more interesting once you start talking about the fact that Nintendo should and can buy back specific Rare properties. Alright, so those are the two questions I was going to answer this week. Now I want to address a little comment that was left by Dr. Feelgood, and Dr. Feelgood writes, another clueless one that thinks it's all Nintendo's fault. He wants games that are not optimized for any console because he is impatient. He wants incomplete and broken games. I do not need to finish the video, etc. This guy was really mad about the fact that I said that games don't really need to use Gamepad integration because it'll just keep third parties off the Wii U. And I just want to address this point really quick. In my opinion, if we have to choose between if Nintendo had, for example, a new restriction that they decided to put in place where all third-party games have to use the Wii U gamepad in a certain way, I wouldn't want that. I'd much rather take a third-party game over not having it because they don't have it on because they're not using the gamepad integration. So if I had to choose, sure, I'd love to have gamepad integration, but if it comes down to a decision between not having the game and having the game, I'm going to choose to have the game on the Wii U and not have the company put all that extra money into extra gamepad integration because it's not going to sell any more units than otherwise. So that's my opinion on the subject. Of course, you might have a different one, but I just don't think, if I'm choosing between Tomb Raider and not having Tomb Raider, I'm going to choose having Tomb Raider. I don't care about whether there's gamepad or not, integration or not. Alright, and then we're also having a contest this week. I do have a code for Alphadia Genesis, which is the Natsume published RPG for the eShop. It's usually $14.99. Here's how you win the game. You just leave a question about Nintendo sales stuff in the comments below and like the video. That's it. Just like the video, head to the comments below, leave a question for me, and then you're entered in for a drawing. I will announce winners in a week or two. Alright, thanks everyone for watching. I really appreciate it, and we'd love to hear any feedback in the comments below. Have a great day. Make sure to see my review for Pokemon on NintendoEnthusiast.com, and see you next week.